Hey pals. So welcome to part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, I'm gonna link it here for you guys, and that's just my story with hypothalamic amenorrhea and an eating disorder and kind of where I'm at today. For this video, I'm really gonna get into it for you on the journey that I went through and what I found helped me in my recovery, as well as how I feel that my life has benefited since recovery. So I'm gonna call you out on this. You're afraid of gaining weight. And I know that because you clicked on this video, and I know that because I've been there. And I want to help by giving you the steps that I went through in recovery and really just explaining how much better that I feel these days since recovery and how much better of a person I have become because of it. And I think that's one of the biggest things when you are gaining healthy weight is you're afraid to lose that part of yourself. And I did mention in my video prior to this that I was attached to this image of myself that I created, and when you have an attachment to something, it's very, very hard to disconnect yourself with that. It's still hard some days feeling that I lost a part of myself and I lost that power, because I feel like when you are extremely lean, you feel this power. And you don't really understand that unless you've actually been there, and you don't want to lose that part of yourself. But one of the biggest things that I can say is that it's really funny because I feel like I look so much better than what I looked like before when I was extremely lean. As much as I was attached to that image that I created for myself, I look back at photos now and I'm like, oh my goodness, like I look so much better now, and I feel so much better about my body. And I feel the same way about my body. I still feel very proud of the girl that I was, but I have so much more of a healthy mindset. So I'm gonna get into it for you guys on the things that I found helped me the most in my recovery. I would say the number one thing that has helped me in my journey is connecting to who I really am as a person and connecting with old parts of myself. When I was over exercising and when I had gotten into fitness, I had gotten so deep into fitness that I was working out 6-7 days a week, and over the spans of a couple of years, I actually realized that I had lost myself, and it wasn't until I had recovered and taken time from the gym and taken the space that I needed from the gym that I really started connecting with who I really was deep inside. I've always been an artistic person, and it wasn't until I took space from the gym that I started getting into drawing again and painting, and I connected with that part of myself and realized that I had been missing that. And I think that's a really important step, is connecting with old parts of yourself. And something that I find really helps as well is journaling and connecting really deep down with who you are. You can meditate and do things that you loved as a kid, whether that's baking or cooking or drawing, painting. I've gotten so much more into hobbies lately. This summer, I've kind of gone on a hobby craze and just gotten into all of these things and all of these creative hobbies that I'm very passionate about and always wanted to try. And that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't gone on this journey and recovered. And I would say that's the biggest thing, is connecting with parts of yourself that either you've lost or even parts of yourself that you haven't even discovered are there yet. Try new things, try new versions of fitness. That's another thing, is finding ways that you love working out. Me, I still lift weights because I love it and it makes me feel strong, but there are certain ways that you can work out that don't involve trying to lose weight or trying to look a certain way, you know, like playing different sports. Getting through recovery is so much easier when you are doing things you love, because you're rediscovering parts of yourself and you are discovering that there's so much more to you and there's so much to be experienced in life, and so many wonderful things that you can go through that don't involve what you look like and don't involve being in the gym and exercising all of the time and having experiences that you wouldn't have had if you were in the gym all the time. When I was in the gym all the time, I would avoid certain circumstances or events because I was afraid of missing the gym, or I was afraid of not eating the type of food that I wanted to eat, or there wouldn't be certain foods there for me that I could eat. And really getting out of your comfort zone and having these experiences, once you have them, you understand how important they are and how much more connected to yourself and the people around you are. I went on a trip, it was 2 years ago now, with my sister. We went on a trip to Portugal, and I really just let go on that trip. I didn't work out, and I just ate whatever foods I felt like I wanted to eat. And I remember before we left on that trip, my sister had said to me, like, I'm a little bit worried about going on this trip with you because I'm worried what we're gonna eat or what you're going to eat, and if that's going to be an issue. And that is something that really hit me hard, because when it's at the point where people in your life feel like they can't have certain experiences with you, and you feel like you can't have certain experiences for yourself because you are afraid, that is a really sad position to be in life. And life is so much about experiences, and that is one thing I will say that I've benefited so much from recovery, is having so many more experiences in my life that I wouldn't have had if I was still deep into my eating disorder and my obsession with the gym and fitness, and that is a huge one. So biggest thing I would say is experiences and really connecting with yourself and who you are. A support group is huge. Having people around you that love you and support you, not for what you look like, but for who you are. Talking to people in your life and even asking them, what do you love about me, or what do you admire about me? And even if people admire you for your body and your fitness, most of the time you need to understand that the reason people admire you for what you look like is because of your drive and your motivation. It's not because you look like that, it's because you have so much motivation inside of you to be a certain way. And a lot of people admire that, because a lot of people have troubles being in the gym and staying consistent. And that is one of the biggest things I will say, is when people admire you for what you look like, it's mostly about your motivation and your drive and who you are deep inside, and less about what you actually look like. And that is something that's really important to remember when you are going through recovery, is that at the end of the day, it really isn't what you look like that makes you an incredible person. It is your drive and your motivation and your passion. And I think that's really important. So again, like, talking to people that love you and support you in your life and having them tell you what they love about you is huge. My boyfriend was a huge help with me in my recovery, and helping me understand that there's so much more to you and there's so much more to life than being in the gym all the time and looking a certain way. And I'm really grateful for that to him. I'd also recommend, definitely, if you don't have many people in your life that you feel are supportive of you or that you can go to for help, is maybe reaching out to a counselor for help. I was going to a counselor for a little bit. She specialized in eating disorders. I don't regret going at all. I find that there are some helpful tips that I learned from going, but I stopped going. I did find that for me, I think there was a lot of shame that was brought out inside me just with the specific counselor that I was going to. And it is really important to find a counselor that works with you and is able to connect with you. For me, the counselor that I was going to, I find wasn't the best fit for me. I found that I felt very shameful after leaving my sessions, and I didn't find that it was extremely helpful, as much as I did learn some tools that were helpful and I still look back on and still use today. I didn't have the best experience with counseling for my eating disorder at the time. Another thing that I can say that helped me is connecting with God. And whether you believe in God or the universe, connecting with God really helped me in understanding that God has so much more planned for you in your life, and all of these dreams and aspirations that you have in your head, He put there for a reason. And there are so many dreams and things that you won't experience, or at least that I didn't experience and only experienced when I went through recovery. And so many things that I wanted to do in my life, like traveling and connecting with my art and my soul. And I wouldn't have if it wasn't for going through that and just understanding the universe is on your side. And these dreams and aspirations wouldn't have been put in your head if you weren't meant to experience them. And a lot of the time you won't experience them if you are addicted to things like fitness and your appearance. And I think that's a very important thing to remember. You will gain so much more than you will lose. Again, the biggest thing I will say that comes from recovery is really just connecting with yourself and understanding that you are going to gain so much more from going through recovery than you will ever lose. And is realizing that I look back at photos now and feel like I look better, even though I was so afraid. It's one of those things that once you go through an experience, you come out the other side and you wish you had done it sooner. I hope you understand that you will come out the other side and you will feel so good about yourself at the end of it. And there are so many women that can vouch for it. You will never get through something like this and go through healing and gain healthy weight and regret it. And I definitely didn't regret it. I feel like I'm so much better of a person now because of it. And I am slowly rediscovering things about myself that I had lost when I was obsessed with the gym and when I was obsessed with looking and being a certain way. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Those are my best and most helpful tips I can give you on recovery and how I got through recovery and how I've benefited from it and how much better I am doing now because of it. If you like this video, please hit that like button and please leave a comment for me if you have any feedback on it. I hope you guys are doing well and I hope to see you guys around soon.